We're from Vallejo Yoga in downtown Vallejo on Georgia Street. We hope you'll stop whatever you're doing right now, turn off your cell phone, take your shoes off, and get some floor space and take a little yoga break with us. If you don't or aren't able to sit on the floor, you can sit wherever you are, in your chair or on the couch, and just do as much as you can with us in the practice from that place. You'll be surprised at just how beneficial it can be to take a little break from your regular activities. Or if you don't have a lot of activities going on, it could be just nice to take a little break from what's going on in your mind. So if you're joining us on the floor, you're going to need a blanket or a pillow to sit on. And we're also going to be using a strap today. And if you don't have a strap, you could use a belt or maybe a tie from a robe or a coat or a jacket. Those work nicely too. If you don't have that available, that's okay. You'll still be able to follow along with us. We'd also like to invite you to join us at our studio on Georgia Street for classes there. We'd love to help you get started in a regular yoga practice. Yoga is really beneficial for increasing your flexibility, building your strength and endurance. It's good for calming the mind, and it also helps with focus and balance. So many things. So it'll leave you feeling better physically, mentally, and emotionally. So to start now, we're just going to begin seated on the floor or in a chair. We're going to be staying pretty low to the floor today. Even though we're near the end of summer, we're still experiencing some warm weather here. And so we're going to do a little bit more of a cooling practice, but it should leave you feeling energized still. So let your eyes close gently and sit up as tall as you're able to. Sit comfortably. Draw your shoulders back and let your heart lift. And then become aware of your breath. Just watching yourself breathe in and out through the nostrils. And starting to slow the breath down. Slowing the breath down will help to slow you down, slow your mind, slow your thoughts down. Take a couple more breaths. Let the eyes open up. The first pose we're going to do, we're going to come into a forward bend. So bring your hands to the floor in front of you. If you're sitting in a chair, you can bring them to your knees. We're just going to walk the hands out and start to fold forward. Try to keep your bottom on the floor, on the blanket. And just come down as far as you're able to. Let your shoulders and your head relax. And just let the head release, relax the neck and the tops of the shoulders. Take a few more breaths here, just breathing in and out smoothly. And take another round of breath, a deep inhale and a complete exhalation. And then we're going to walk the hands back towards us as we inhale, and we'll lift the torso up. Then we're going to bring the hands behind us now for a little bit of a back bend. So you're going to rest back onto the hands. You could be up on the fingertips, or you could have the hands down on the floor. Be careful that you don't lock your elbows, so you want to keep the elbows a little bit soft. Roll your shoulders back, lift your heart center up, and pretend you have a ball between the shoulder blades, and squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Move your lower back in and take a couple more deep breaths, filling the lungs up and emptying out completely. And then on our next inhale, we're going to lift up and come up carefully if you've had the head drop back. And then come back to center. We're going to move into a twist next. So we're going to start by twisting to the right. You're going to take your right hand behind you and take your left hand over to your right knee, and then roll the shoulders back. Press the legs down and move your lower back in so that your lumbar curve is intact there and you're not rounding in the low back. And if you have the flexibility in the neck and you want to look over the right shoulder, you might turn your head to the right and go a little deeper. Take another full round of breath. And then on your next inhale, we're going to turn the head back to the front, and we'll exhale and release the twist. And then we're going to bring the left hand behind us. Take your right hand over to your knee. Roll the shoulders back and down. Bring your left hand in as close to your tailbone as you can. Give yourself support and lengthen the spine. And then just breathe smoothly here. While you're breathing, imagine that you're creating more length in the spine, more space between the discs. Use your breath. And take one more round. Deep inhale, a full exhale. And then next inhale, we'll turn our head back to the front again. And then exhale, release. And then from here, we're going to extend the legs out. Knees are going to be bent. You're going to have your feet on the floor and walk your feet wider than your hips. And then we're going to drop both knees over to the left side to a windshield wiper pose. Press into the hands again. Your right hip might be up off the floor, your right glute. Roll your shoulders back and pull the lower back in. You might take the gaze up. We'll give it a couple more breaths. And then on the next inhale, we're going to bring the knees back up to center and then drop them over to the other side now. So really opening up your right hip, internally rotating on the left side. Arms are straight, chest is lifted, collarbones wide. Breathe deeply. And then on your next inhale, we're going to come back to center. And then from here, we're going to bring the bottoms of our feet together. Press the feet together, wrap your hands around your feet, and then pulling against the feet, lift the chest, keep your back straight, and we're going to fold forward for a few breaths, bending your elbows. If you like, you can take your elbows out to the side to give a little more pressure to open the legs. And then just breathe here. 2 more breaths. And then on your next inhalation, we're going to lift right back up. And once you're up, we're going to bring the knees back together. And then we're just going to turn sideways now. You can stay as you are. So the knees are going to be hip width apart. We're going to bring the hands behind us. You're going to turn your fingertips in so they're facing the feet. Roll your shoulders back. If that's too much on your wrist, you could always turn your hands the other direction. But be careful that you don't lock the elbows. Roll the shoulders back, straighten the arms, and then press into the feet evenly, and we're going to lift the hips up off the floor into a reverse table position. Take a couple of breaths here. Some of you might want to drop your head back. If you have neck problems, then just keep the head lifted. And then on your next exhale, we're going to lower down nice and slowly all the way to the floor. And then from here, we're going to roll down onto our back. Just use your abdominals to come down. We're going to move into a bridge pose next. So you're going to walk your feet in a little bit closer to your glutes. Reach your fingertips down towards the floor or towards your heels, and then press into the feet. And as you inhale, we're going to lift the hips up off the floor. You want to keep the head straight, roll the shoulders back. You can work the shoulder blades in towards one another. It's like we did at the beginning, pretending there's something between the shoulder blades and you're squeezing there and lifting the chest up. Keep your legs really strong here. Take 2 more breaths. And then on exhale, we're going to lower down slowly. And take a resting breath. And then we're going to go up 1 more time. So on your next inhale, start to roll up the spine, lift up, come all the way up onto the top of your shoulder blades. You want to squeeze your inner thighs together without letting the knees collapse on one another. And then next exhale, we're going to slowly come down. 1 vertebrae at a time, just roll on down. And then we're going to do a little neck release next. Take an inhale and lift your right arm straight up and back behind you. And then on your exhale, you're going to lower the arm back by your side again and turn your head over to the left. And then inhale, roll your head back to center as you reach your arm back behind you. And then exhale, bring it down by your side, head to the left. Inhale, lift the arm up. And then exhale, turn to the left. Now hold your head to the left for a couple of breaths here. Reach your right fingertips toward your right foot. All right, and then next inhale, we're going to raise the left arm as we roll our head back to center. And then you're going to exhale and turn your head to the right as you lower the arm. And then twice more. Inhale, head to center, arm reaches back, reach into the fingertips, and then exhale, down to the side. And then 1 more time. And then this last one, we'll turn the head to the right. Hold it for a breath or 2. And then we'll bring the head back to center.
And then from here, we're going to lift our legs straight up into the sky. So press with the balls of the feet and the heels up toward the ceiling. Really activate both of your legs. Press the core down toward the earth so your abdominals are reaching down toward the earth. Let your shoulders relax and the knees. You're going to take 4 to 5 rounds of breath here. If you find it difficult to hold your legs up here, then you could always take hold of the backs of the legs to support them. You could take hold of the shins and calves if that's better for you. Or you could always use a belt or a strap around the feet if that's supportive of you. But we want the legs to be strong. The legs are fully activated. The knees are not locked, but there's a strength in the calves and shins and a strength in the quads and the hamstrings. So you're really, really using your legs. And then with our next exhalation, we're going to bend the knees and just bring the feet right to the floor with the knees still bent. And then from here, we're going to take the left knee, bend that, and bring your left ankle right on top of your right thigh. And then we're going to bring that right knee back toward the chest. So bring your hands behind your right thigh and just clasp them. So you'll bring this left hand in the space between your 2 legs there. And so you want to draw the right knee back toward your heart center. And keep your left knee reaching forward slightly. So energize in the legs. So they're very strong here. The feet are both flexed. That'll protect your knee from any tweaking. We don't want it to move around. We want it to be strong and solid in the knee joints to prevent any injury of the knee. So as you inhale, deeply fill your body with the breath, and as you exhale, let that knee maybe come just a little closer to the chest. Taking some one more deep round of breath here. Exhale the right foot left knee in your left hand, and just then that left hand, and we're going to reach the knee out to the side, and then draw it back to the center. So just opening up a little bit in that inner hip joint there. So as you exhale, draw the knee out, and as you inhale, come back to the center. So we're just drawing it out, letting the hand help it out there. So you keep the right foot solidly planted on the floor, and then bring that knee back to the center. And as we mentioned in the beginning, we're going to use a strap, or if you have a belt or something that you'd like to use. We're going to use that around our left foot and bring it up toward the sky. So just reach the heel up toward the sky using this strap. If you don't have a strap with you, you could also still use your hands on the leg, or maybe just take hold of your pant leg if that works for you. But eventually you might try using a strap. Squeeze the inner thighs in toward each other, reaching through the heel, activating through the whole of your leg, so it's very strongly activated. And then we're going to reach toward the left. So we're going to just draw that left leg out to the left side. And use your strap if you need to loosen up on your strap, or if you can pull up on it to keep that leg as straight as you can and coming out to the side. Now you can either keep your right leg bent, or maybe you'd like to stretch it out on the floor. And if you have it stretched out, keep the right toes lifting toward the ceiling and press down on your right thigh a little bit toward the floor. So in other words, we want to draw this sit bone down toward the floor so it doesn't rise up. So you really feel this opening across the lower abdominal area. That's what we're looking for. So reach your heel toward the ceiling, let your toes point down and reach toward the floor. And just take some deep breaths here, allowing that to open and open and open. The longer that you hold this, you'll find that your leg, even if you're not very far down, it will move on its own. The body will loosen up. And then with your next inhalation, you want to reach with the heel up toward the sky. Reach it up toward the sky. And then from there, we're going to bend that knee and just release the strap and just bring it to your side. And bring your knees back into the chest and just draw them back in. Maybe you want to make a little circle to the left and then a circle to the right. Whatever feels good to you, massage your back a little bit. And then from here again, bend the knees, bringing them to the floor. And we're going to take the right leg now and reach it up so the right ankle is right on top of that left thigh. And be sure that you can draw this right knee out toward the wall in front of you, so you're really opening up the inner hip joints there. And then begin to draw that left knee back, taking hold behind your thigh. If it works for you and you're really stretched out, you might also try taking the hands, clasping them on top of the knee, but just be mindful of where you need to be today. So keep that left shin parallel to the ceiling as much as possible. Lots of energy in both shins, energy in the feet. They're strong. And use your breath deeply as you inhale, filling your body, and as you exhale, drawing that left knee a little closer to the chest. So you're going to feel that all in that sciatic area there. So it's really good for opening up the outer hips. It's really, these are so good for those of us who use a computer and sit at computers for long periods of time. If you've been driving, anything like that, just go do some of these when you get home from driving. It feels really good. And then we're going to release the knee back down to the floor. And then from here, we're going to reach the right leg up and take the strap again, if you have one, on the foot, and draw that foot up toward the sky. So reach with your heel, reach with the ball of the foot as though you were trying to stand up on the sky. It's a lot of energy in the whole back of the leg, energy in the front. The leg is fully activated. And then from there, you might draw that leg out to the side. So reach the toes, let them come down toward the floor, and reach with your heel, so you have a lot of expansion in your leg. And again, you might take that left foot down on the floor so the leg is extended. If you have a long-legged friend, they might touch you with their toes, so just be aware of that. It's okay. All friends here. So remembering this left sit bone, we don't want it to rise up. We want it to draw down. So that's where your hand can sort of support you in letting it draw down. So this whole inner hip area can open up. We hold a lot of tension and stress in our hips, so it's really good to work with them opening. With your next inhalation, draw the leg back up to the ceiling. And then release from your strap. And then we're going to bring the knees again into the chest. And just take a deep breath or two. And then from here, we're going to bend, keep the knees bent, but we're going to keep the shins parallel to the ceiling. We're going to do a little bit of abdominal work. So we're going to bring your hands behind our head, just clasp them behind the head. So activate your feet and your shins. Imagine that your shins and your calves are really strong. And so are the thighs, they're strong, they're active. Your core is active. Take an inhalation, and as you exhale, lift from the heart center up. See if you can keep the shoulders and elbows in line with each other. So you're using your core, and then exhale back down to the floor. So take an inhalation and then exhale as you lift up. And then inhale back to the floor. So we're going to flow through that. Do about 5 of those if that's there for you today. Don't worry if it's not. You don't need to go a long way off the floor. It's a matter of using the abs strongly and working with them and keeping the elbows reaching out toward the side walls as much as you can. Using your core strength, letting your heart lead the way. And then as you finish the last round, just let your head release to the floor. And again, take your hands around your knees and just give yourself a little bit of a circle here, one way, and then a little circle the other way. And then we're going to bring the feet down to the floor, reach out your right leg, and keep your left knee bent and just bring your right hand to the outside of that knee. And we're going to draw that knee across the body for a little twist. As much as you can keep this left shoulder blade on the floor, attempt to do that so the knee may not come down to the floor. That's okay. Let your right leg just sort of release and relax there. And take some deep breaths here. Maybe your head will turn to the left if that's there for you today. Don't worry if it's not. And then inhale back up to your center. Clasp the knees again. Stretch out your left leg on the floor. Take the left hand on your right knee and draw that knee over to the left side. And open up this right arm if you'd like. You could bring it back behind you or even have it on your hip if that's better for you. Keep working the shoulder blades under so you can draw this right shoulder blade down so that it doesn't rise up too much. And take some deep breaths there. Open them to twist. Twists are really good for the immune system, for the nervous system. They really support our detoxifying the body. So twists are really good for having your practice. Inhale back to the center. Clasp the hands around the knees and roll over to your right side. Just take a breath into there. And then from here, press your left hand on the floor. Gently let yourself come up. We're going to circle on around so that we're in a table position on the mat. So we're just going to come right on around here in the table and just do a couple of rounds of cow-cat. You may already know cow-cat. Hands are right under the shoulders. Fingers are wide and strong. The knees are right under the hips. Energize in your shins and your calves and thighs. And the whole leg is really strong. The arms are strong. And as you inhale, lift up the crown of the head and the sit bones. Draw the shoulder blades back. And as you exhale, press your core, your navel, right up into your spine and round. Let your head elongate. Let the crown of your head reach toward the earth to lengthen out your neck. And then just flow through another 2 cycles at your own pace. You can do as many of these as you want to do on your own. These are great for the spine, great way to limber up your back in the mornings when you first get up. Use the core strongly. The next time that you round the spine, we're going to sit back onto the heels into a child pose. And just take a couple of rounds of breath in child pose. Let your whole back be filled with breath as you take your next inhalation, engage your core, and just sit yourself up. So we're just going to come right on around onto our backs for Shavasana, our final relaxation. So Grace is going to go ahead and go into Shavasana. We give her a little pillow here for her head. So you should do the same. Have a pillow for your head. Roll something under your knees. Will protect your low back and support it if you have any low back problems especially, but it's also nice even if you don't. And from here, stay in Shavasana just as long as you wish to stay there. If you have some time, take that time now to give to yourself to relax, release, enjoy the fruits of this practice that you've done.